What we have out here now is a wide variety of possibilities of plating you could use for your three-course menu, from appetizer to entree all the way to dessert. We have a 7-inch appetizer plate, can be used for salads or even desserts. 10-inch, which is a slightly larger version of an appetizer plate for composed appetizers. It's a 4-inch B&B plate. This would not be an acceptable plate to use. It's just too small. The portion size wouldn't be appropriate. It's a 12-inch dinner plate. It be used strictly for entree or desserts if you have multiple components or you would like to show skill using piping technique. But it's too large to use for an appetizer. You would have too much negative space, or if you filled the plate up completely, your portion size would be too big for an appetizer. This is an alternative. It is a 10-inch pasta bowl. It can be used for either pasta or, if you have a braised item, more room for the sauce to flow around without the sauce spilling over the rim of the plate. And that's an important issue when thinking about what plate to use. When determining what plate you should use for what course, remember that you want the plate to reflect the food. So if you have 2 to 3 ounces of protein for an appetizer course, you'd want to use something on the smaller scale of these plates. Not too small, where the food's going to overwhelm the entire plate, and not too large, where you have a small bit of item in the center and a large amount of negative space. You want to have a nice large rim like this. You don't want to put anything on it. This should be considered your frame for your appetizer, your entree, your dessert. Everything should be tight, close, and work from the center of the plate outwards. Usually when plating up, even though there is a rim, you still want to leave about an inch between your food and the rim. It just adds to that gradual, nice, close-looking presentation.
This is Certified Executive Chef Michael Deal. Let's talk about how your finished plates will be judged from a visual standpoint. First, the rim should be free of debris, garnish, or other items. There should be a clear barrier of about 1 inch between the rim and the food. Remember, your plate is the canvas and your food is the picture. They should be centered on the plate. The colors should be balanced. Food not spread out, not covering the entire surface of the plate. This is done to keep the food warm. You want to keep it tight in the center and make sure there's a focal point on your plate so the judges will have their eye go exactly where you want it. Here is an example of a salad that was placed in a pasta bowl. The pasta bowl was too large for the salad, and in an attempt to make the salad bowl filled, we have too much portion in this plate. This is an example of a non-edible garnish left on the outside of the rim. Uncooked food, as an example here of leeks, is non-acceptable as a garnish. All garnishes must be edible. What we have here is the proper plate for the proper course. Unfortunately, we have too much food on this plate. The salad is extended beyond the rim, and we also have garnish on the outside of the rim. This is a well-composed salad that will look very good if the portion was cut back and the garnish was kept inside the plate. Here is an example of an entree cooked properly, sauced properly, but the portion is way too large. As you can see, they filled the plate up. It looks unappetizing, and to the judges, this would not be acceptable. What we have here is a wonderful dessert which has been put on the wrong size plate. When the plate is too small, the dessert looks overportioned, and in this case there is some skill used, but that will be deterred by the fact that it is on the wrong side plate, and also the fresh mint garnish. It's not very tasty to eat fresh herbs raw. If you take that and make a little bit of fresh mint oil, you could drizzle that on the plate and have wonderful mint flavor and aroma. In this poached pear dessert, we have a large portion. If we had taken the pear and sliced it and cored it, fanned it out, sauced it properly with a nice garnish, we would have a very acceptable dessert. In this example, we have a large portion and we have garnish that has been spilled onto the rim of the plate. This is a lot of work put into this, fried crispy. The cinnamon sugar looks very nice. But with the appropriate garnish, some fresh fruit possibly, add a little color to it, and keeping your sugar cinnamon inside the rim of the plate, it also allows the plate to be taken to the judges without thumbprints on the rim. Garnishing the rim is very difficult to transport to the judges. Here is an example of an appetizer, which is way too large from a portion standpoint for this particular plate. On this salad course, the first thing you notice is that the greens are not dressed. You must dip your salad greens in your dressing, shake them off, then put them on the plate. I would have liked to seen this item centered a little bit more and a little bit more of the walnut garnish, possibly included in the dressing. Here is an example of a fresh herb garnish which is unacceptable. If you'd have taken one mint leaf, a fine chiffonade, and sprinkled it on top of that wonderful mousse, your dessert would score very, very high. In this next section, you will see proper portions placed on appropriate plates, executed to perfection. Enjoy.